This is Radio Free Cybertron, episode 886. I am Brian Kilby. Radio Free Cybertron is the world's first and oldest toy and action figure podcast since 1999. With me this week, we have Donald Ferguson.
Hello.
The Headmaster Don himself. Mr. BotCon hero, Mr. world's most famous Transformers fan, at least for some period in the 1990s. Yes. Matt's here.
Hello.
We agreed. So in pre-show, we're talking about how there's people that we still call by their screen names. I don't call Chris by a old screen name anymore. But like Diecast, my kids call him Diecast. My wife calls him Diecast. We don't know what else to call him. It's just weird. And Matt was like, he purposefully changed our references to him to Matt from Melvar years ago, which was smart. Just Chris again. Chris, not XV.
Yep. Or, Goldimus Prime as I named myself when I was a dumb teenager.
Yeah.
I mean, I think everybody new to Transformers fandom goes through that phase for at least a little while before, they learn better.
So my first screen name is Brian Kilby. And I changed it briefly to like Dr. Zaius at one point.
I kind of remember that.
And Faceless Master was one that I used.
I don't remember that one.
I probably didn't make myself public.
Okay, I have to say something, Brian. When you said Dr. Zaius, I only just now recently discovered that clip from The Simpsons.
I hate every ape I see, from chimpanzee to chimpanzee.
I've not watched Simpsons in 25 years or so, but that's brilliant. I love that.
I love you, Dr. Zaius. I love that, yeah. And Rob, who I think I tried to call RAC at one point, probably just didn't work.
I used to go by that, but that's that was just my initials, so it doesn't make a huge difference.
Yep.
I don't even think I realized that for the first couple of years we were friends.
Yeah. And
why would I make that leap? I mean, it's not like you were born in the year 2750, so like it's not.
Or was he?
I guess I can't prove that he wasn't.
That was after the temporal Cold War.
No.
I thought the temporal
that was before the temporal Cold War. The temporal Cold War.
I thought that was in the 26th century.
The 29th and 30th centuries, if I remember.
I thought that was the 26th century. Okay.
Rob's actually traveled back in time to avoid a dystopian future. He's just doing a very bad job of it.
That's true. That's true. John and Diecast not here this week. So
did John ever have a screen name that wasn't his own name? Because he was always John DeLuna for as long as I knew of him.
John's always been John, as far as I know.
Yeah.
If he had something before, it was before I was on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and jump. Do we have anything coming up? No. I was thinking we didn't have a Toy Fair live stream this year because Toy Fair hasn't happened yet, has it?
No.
But like it used to be something we did every February.
It was my favorite thing to do all year.
Yeah.
Well, it's all of our favorite thing, I think, every year.
Yeah. And Toy Fair is not exactly the same as it was.
No.
We need to come up with something to be our favorite thing of the year.
Yeah.
Let's figure it out.
Get right on that.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. Okay. Yeah, so nothing pressing or coming up.
Oh, Wheeljack just reminded us of something important coming up, which is that the Bell Riots are going to come up at the end of August this year.
That's right. Yeah, so yeah, hopefully we'll be able to avoid dire consequences.
So does that mean all the baby bells from the big split up are going to rise up and riot?
Star Trek reference, Don.
So I did a whole rewatch of Star Trek Deep Space Nine earlier this year, and I purposely left out Past Tense Part 1 and 2 because I'm going to watch them on the weekend between the dates Part 1 and 2 were set on, and just like sit there and marvel at how close we came to that actually being the true reality by the time those dates came around.
I forgot that was a two-parter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need to do that.
It was at the end of Part 1 where Cisco goes like, the name's Bell. Gabriel Bell.
Yeah. That's cool. Okay, let's jump to like what's going on in the news this week. That Chris Hemsworth. Oh, Chris Hemsworth. He is not just satisfied with Transformers 1. He wants to be a
in
GI
Transformers 8.
in Transformers 8 as most likely a G.I. Joe character.
I'm almost hoping that he's actually in talks to star in that movie as the voice of Optimus Prime.
hope-
I really just hope that he thinks that doing this in Transformers 1 now means he's gotten in to just become Optimus Prime forever.
I hope not.
I'm not saying I necessarily want him to get the part. It would be interesting to me if that's the direction this is actually going, rather than him pursuing like being in the movie.
It's time to let Peter Cullen have a rest.
Peter needs to rest.
But he also needs to work.
He also needs to. I don't know how.
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I would just assume, like, he's had a good career, but voice acting is not the most
Lucrative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember an interview. Matter of fact, I believe it's an interview Chris McFeely did with Townsend Coleman, talking about his work as Sentinel Prime, saying that the reason that he wound up in Transformers Animated is because and a bunch of other things is because his retirement funds got wiped out in financial crisis. So, with Peter Cullen, it could be that, or he could be just part of that generation of actors that is not comfortable unless they're working.
Yeah, it's possible.
There's that too. Basically, let Peter Cullen work for as long as he wants to work. There's other instances of Optimus Prime that can be other people too. Like, there's room for both.
David Kaye was good as Optimus Prime.
Yeah, he was.
He was.
Yeah.
Gary Chalk was great as Optimus
I love
Prime.
Gary Chalk. I would love for Gary Chalk to be involved with Transformers again.
John Bailey makes a solid Optimus Prime too.
He does.
He really does.
I'm going to say Neil Kaplan.
Yeah, I know you're going to say Neil Kaplan.
And I'll keep saying it too.
I like Neil. Especially for what I think he was what we needed for Robots in the Skies. And I don't have a problem with him. I think he's a good guy. Okay. So featuring G.I. Joe, the Rise of the Beast sequel, so they're going to mix their Transformers and G.I. Joe potentially. Like, how sure are we of that?
Well, I believe Lorenzo de Bonaventura said things.
He always says things.
Yeah. Like, I don't doubt that the intention in this moment in time is that there's going to be a Transformers and G.I. Joe crossover. Now, whether by the time the movie actually goes through editing and reshoots and comes out to theaters, that there's anything left of that, that's a completely separate question, because the movie will pass through no fewer than 5 sets of hands by then.
The precedent with G.I. Joe is that they basically they burn through their lead in each movie. Not that that's going to carry forward. But with Hemsworth and the price tag he probably carries, I would imagine that he's probably a 1-for-1 in a live-action Transformers movie, would be my guess.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think, are we guessing they're going to pick up off the end of Rise of the Beasts, and that's...
Who knows?
And they'll get Noah back and all that, or...
Probably, but who knows?
I'd be fine with that.
I liked him.
Yeah. I liked just about all the people in that movie, which is weird for a Transformers movie.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's perfectly okay, which makes it the best Transformers movie ever. Yeah. So, I don't know how I feel about having G.I. Joe really baked into a Transformers movie, because there's already enough crap going on with all the Transformers.
Honestly, we kind of already did have G.I. Joe baked into a Transformers movie. They just called it Sector 7.
Yeah.
It's basically the same idea. Sorry,
you already have so many human characters in a movie, they might as well be G.I. Joe instead of just randos.
That's true.
I think the human military characters in like Revenge of the Fallen and Dark of the Moon probably would have been called G.I. Joe in some sense if Hasbro had not been simultaneously trying to establish G.I. Joe as its own movie franchise.
But the problem is the G.I. Joe characters, generally speaking, are dynamic and are characters. And Sector 7 characters, for the most part, aren't. So, I don't know. I still just don't feel great about that.
Well, the one thing about, like you said with G.I. Joe, is that if you look at the animated series, you've got all these colorful, unique individuals with special abilities, which makes up G.I. Joe. You're not going to have quick running around in a G.I. Joe movie on the big screen while, Bazooka blows
We
up
should,
some.
though.
We should,
should.
but
We
I'm just
should.
saying a G.I. Joe movie is not. Any G.I. Joe movie we get is going to be closer to classified than Real American Hero.
I feel like if this goes through, we're basically just going to get Rise of Cobra mixed with the Transformers movie, in that we're going to have two prominent G.I. Joe characters, one of whom will, of course, be Duke, running around probably in power suits,
Ugh.
while the Transformers are doing most of the heavy lifting, over there.
Yeah.
They need to get Sergeant Slaughter to be their drone.
Yes!
I don't think it's going to be like a true crossover in the sense that anybody would want it to be.
Yeah. Well, personally, if they put G.I. Joe in a Transformers movie, just get weird with it. Do the
seriously.
Yeah, do the bright, colorful, flashy things. Don't let G.I. Joe look dull compared to the big robots. Just
give us alley vipers.
Yeah.
What I want is, I want Cobra to be in the movie. It can be just Cobra Commander, Baroness, and Destro, but purpose has to be to go and break Megatron out of Hoover Dam, paint him green and purple, and set him up to be running the Decepticons again, and the G.I. Joe side is there to fight them while the Transformers fight each other.
Chris Hemsworth is Australian. He should totally be Zartan.
Yeah.
No, I would totally watch a Cobra based heist movie to recruit Decepticons or something. That would be awesome.
They could always do the 4-part G.I. Joe G2 crossover and just.
That's basically what I'm suggesting.
Yes,
Don.
yeah. Okay. I was about to ask who's going to be the clone of Dr. Mindbender. Who's going to be Dr.
summarizing it though?
Yeah, who's going to be Dr. Biggles Jones?
Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
I was thinking Hemsworth could be, because he's ripped, he could be Dr. Mindbender's clone, because Dr. Mindbender is ripped.
Yeah.
No, I want actual dreadnoughts.
Yeah.
I would just assume if Hemsworth is trying to be a G.I. Joe character for this movie, I just would assume he'd be trying for the role of Duke.
Rakondo.
So he can be boring?
He could be Rakondo.
I see Chris Hemsworth as Falcon. I don't want Falcon in my G.I. Joe movie, but I see him as Falcon.
Why not Hawk?
He does have the gravitas.
I see Cole Meany more as being Falcon. Don't you, Matt?
He's a little old for Falcon.
Cole Meany, no.
I get that joke.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought you were being serious.
That's a deeper than usual Star Trek reference.
Is that his holodeck holosuite character?
The
from
Bashir's Super
spy
Spy
program.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He always has to be the bad guy.
It didn't. It didn't click.
The second time that appeared, they made the joke that he's always Falcon, because in the first appearance his image was used for Falcon during the holodeck or holosuite screw up, and then just afterward they sold the costume for him, so he had to be it again.
Yeah. Okay. But the most important character, who is going to be the Viper?
Who's going to be the Bat?
Who's going to be the Viper?
Who's going to come vipe the windows?
Oh, that like not the Cobra Viper, but the actual Viper.
I mean, Chris Hemsworth could do that. He's really funny.
He's genuinely funny. He has great comedic timing.
Oh, that would be Chris Hemsworth is showing in the movie, and he shows up at the end that he's the Viper, and it basically it's a send-up of that one episode. I'm not sure if that would be epic or terrible.
Well, if it makes you feel better, Don, I don't think there's any way that a live-action Transformers G.I. Joe crossover movie is going to be anything approaching epic.
Yeah, true.
This is stereotype. I read this in the chat. Blade Raider said that. I'm sorry. Yeah, he wanted Gary Chalk as Hulk, which I see. But if they have the October Guard, he needs to be the Russian commander because he did such a great Russian commander in Stargate.
Colonel Chekhov.
That's a while ago, though, Don.
Yeah.
I'm sure he can still pull it off. And then you get Walter Koenig as his like lieutenant or
It's
someone.
been a while since Walter Koenig's done anything
other than a voice.
No. Yeah.
It wasn't that long ago.
Don, I hate to break it to you, but
Don't.
time
Don't.
is the fire in which we burn.
Okay.
Babylon 5 was like 15 years ago.
Okay.
Yes, and that entire cast is still alive and well, Don.
So, who was it that said, I think it was Chris and Rob, and probably Matt, that MPG was going to be the new just branding for Masterpiece? Yeah. Well, we have 2 new Masterpiece figures.
In MPG,
Lift Ticket and DK2 Guard.
Guess what those molds are?
What you think? What are they?
Diaclone repaint.
Yes. Well, not the molds. What's the question about the mold, Chris?
Just, if you want any better proof that MPG is just a new Masterpiece branding, like they're using
the old molds. It's the old molds, yeah.
Masterpiece Hoist is Lift Ticket, naturally, which is not an old mold. And DK2 Guard is Ironhide, which is...
It's
8 years old?
Older?
But the Hoist is not a new mold for MPG, is the thing. It's just the existing mold in new branding. So
Yeah. Matt, what do you think?
I think I've been waiting for a Black Masterpiece Ironhide repaint for 8 years. If anyone remembers, I know it's been a while, but I bashed that toy relentlessly
until you got it
up to its release, and up until I got it, and then just absolutely fell in love. I could not say enough good things about it.
I think we got our first pictures of it during BotCon 2015.
That sounds right.
Because I think we first saw it after Don's epic bowling performance.
The Phil Collins,
yeah.
Yes, and we all hated what we saw.
Yeah.
Dished on it.
The photography was so terrible on that.
And let me tell you, Don, it still is. Have you seen the pictures of DK2?
Yes, I'll be honest.
It's still the most unphotogenic toy I've ever seen. It's amazing.
Here's the thing.
I assure you, it is wonderful in hand.
I do like the deco.
Yes.
And I'll be pretty honest with you. I don't have any interest in the Black Ironhide. But
Don, if I could kick you off.
No. Let me explain. Black Ironhide doesn't really have any meaning for me I'm not a Diaclone person. But since I have the X Transbots Hoist, I didn't get Hoist in Masterpiece. This gives me an opportunity to get a unique color scheme because I have the yellow Trailbreaker from Mastermind Creations. So I finally can get the Hoist mold, because that mold always looked better to me as Hoist than it ever did as Trailbreaker, because the Trailbreaker had too much Hoist in it.
Okay.
So I am really excited to get Lift Ticket.
I am a little annoyed that the Black Ironhide is still just called DK2 Guard.
Me too.
Like they had an opportunity here, Takara, to give it a name. Like they've given other names, like freaking Loud Pedal. They just, I don't even know where they came up with that for the black tracks. But it seems like we're doomed to just call it DK2 Guard. Don, how about this? He is a van. What if we call him Vanguard?
Yeah, but okay.
It's a GoBot name. We know you love GoBots.
I love that.
I want to say that works. It's the wrong color for that name, but it's the right name for that character.
But if you think about the eHobby GoBots characters, they're all the wrong colors too.
Yeah.
Oh,
because they were just GoBots in disguise.
That's great justification. I'll take it. I don't think I'll get the figure, but it's a nice figure. It's just I'd rather have a mold I don't have with the Lift Ticket, who I think looks really good. Those are some interesting colors for the Diaclone version.
I do find the Diaclone face on Guard a little disconcerting. Like I don't know what it is about it. It just creeps me out a little bit.
I like that they did that. That they made a sticker faceplate for that. Like I would have loved that they could have done some like substantial remolding of that to push it more to the Diaclone look. But like I know what I'm asking for in that. So like at least they did that, which is more than we got with the Generation Selects one. This at least does make it look like it could be a drone.
Yeah.
I'll be getting both of these.
So, for anybody who's interested in Ironhide or Ratchet, I am piecing my Masterpiece toys and accessories together, hopefully on Friday, and putting them on eBay. So I'm done with Masterpiece. So you can get, yeah.
I'm still buying the Diaclone stuff.
Yeah.
I guess I have to go back and get Rigorous now.
Yeah, they gave Rigorous a name. Like, why couldn't they give Black Ironhide a name? It's not even, just Loud Pedal.
Yes.
Like, if BotCon's people hadn't come up with Lift Ticket, I assume they initiated
And
the name
Burnout.
on that. Yeah, like those toys wouldn't probably even have what we consider proper names either. I don't get that. And then they named Rigorous, but they stuck with DK2 Guard for Black Ironhide. It doesn't make any sense to me. Anyway.
Absolutely no sense. So, like I
No.
said, I'm calling him Vanguard from now on.
I like it.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm sure somebody else has come up with that already, so I wish I could take
yeah.
credit. But
Wheeljack64 is like, now Brian collects MPG. No, I'm done. I'm done. If I'm not getting Power Master Prime, I'm not getting anything else.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My MP44 is getting boxed up and sold. So
Don't blame you.
I'm keeping MP10 and
Mhm.
both my versions of MP01. But yeah, I'm keeping that keeping Soundwave that Don got me. My MP36 probably Laser, probably Shockwave, and I don't know, not much else. Okay, Transformers 1 Prime changers, Bumblebee and Sentinel Prime.
So these are the deluxe adjacent figures in the Transformers 1 mainline line for reference.
They sure do have a lot of paint.
Yeah, they sure have paint. Sentinel Prime is also like totally a Fall of Cybertron Seeker.
why?
Yeah, I don't really know. Like, we haven't quite pieced that part together yet, but he sure is.
Animated colors, though, so that's a plus.
Yes. Yes, and like, while it's not as exaggerated as an animated, you can definitely see he's got some chin going on. Like,
Yeah.
they did try to keep something of that alive in the appearance. So, I mean, I can definitely appreciate this toy. Bumblebee, meanwhile, certainly has some shells around no lower legs.
Yeah, I'm not buying these.
Yeah. I kind of like the look of
These are Prime changers, so these are like sub deluxe, right?
Deluxe adjacent.
They're like Warrior class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'd be equivalent to like the EarthSpark Deluxes we have right now.
I think Sentinel Prime looks pretty decent. I'm just looking at this body and looking at the alt mode. I'm wondering if this mold will also end up being a Starscream at some point.
I'm sure it will.
Yeah, I mean, it's got the color breakdowns for that to work. And the null rays.
Transformers 1 plot twist, Sentinel Prime is Starscream.
You know what? I wouldn't be angry at that. Because at least, like, that's a new concept.
Yes.
Takara Tomy reveals new EarthSpark Deluxes. Some of these were pretty interesting.
Okay, so the last row on this gallery, the purple and black tow truck,
Aftermath.
may be my new favorite thing ever.
It's
I love
beautiful.
It is probably my new favorite thing ever too.
Yeah.
Like, it is gorgeous.
So it's like I want to call it like an old stylized looking tow truck.
Yeah, it's got like the big flared fenders, a lot of roundness to the body. Like, it looks like a big steel, like late 30s or 40s model truck.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It also looks a little bit like a Disney character, and I mean that in like a non-derogatory kind of way. Like, there's just something about that aesthetic that works together so wonderfully. Like, I really would like to talk to the person who did the visual design of this character and just like plunge at them for their inspirations at this, because like this is a really distinctive new kind of look, and I want more things done in this way.
And it turns into a big hulking purple and black robot, so I'm there.
Yeah,
No, it's really good.
with
It
those
is.
teeth or whatever on the front, it doesn't look like the toy, but like the design aesthetic reminds me of like Thunderhoof from Robots in Disguise, sort of.
I mean, very vaguely, I guess.
But it's a good thing for me because I love those toys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, this looks really great. We're also getting a new deluxe Jawbreaker. Up till now, the Warrior class has been the only toy. And unlike the transition from Warrior class Thrash to its deluxe, this seems like it's made the transition more cleanly and more like a definite upgrade over the existing toy. What's interesting here, though, is the hashtag and Elita 1, both of which are modifications of Warrior class toys.
Interesting.
So hashtag does not seem to have much in the way of overt remolding. They appear to have taken away the combiner hooks because the Hasbro Warrior class toy is
Yeah.
doing the like Energon combiner style gimmick. This just has a flat panel on the truck roof. This also has colors which should be more show accurate than the Hasbro one. Although I kind of like the purple the Hasbro one is using, so I'm kind of torn on which of these I actually want to get.
Does this have more paint on it?
Almost certainly, yeah.
Yeah, it looks a lot nicer to me.
But I also was looking at the stock photos of the Hasbro version, and the color breakdowns are not too different between them. So there is probably a greater quantity of paint on the Takara one, but the Hasbro one doesn't look too much lesser than this.
Okay.
This does also seem to have guns that the Hasbro one appears not to include by all indications from the stock photos right now. Don, you had a question?
Yeah, I do not remember hashtag being.
Don, can you put your hand on the other side? You're covering your microphone.
Sorry, I do not remember hashtag. I don't remember any of these getting a U.S. announcement.
That's because I don't think hashtag has been officially announced yet. But we have had the stock photos leak.
Okay, all right, because I was trying to play. Because I mean, I definitely want to get, at least the Jawbreaker looks great, and I've got the Warrior class toy, and it's not bad, but it's just so desperately needing
Yeah,
some
no,
paint.
the US hashtag toy has the combiner port on the roof for
Right.
the weird car centaur combiner gimmick
Okay,
that's been tooled out of the Takara version.
okay,
Which
yeah.
I mean is not a very extensive retooling job since that's on, it's a separate piece
Yeah.
that inserts down in there. They just need to make a panel and glue over it. But I mean, if you can look past the combiner port on there, or if that functionality is important to you, the Hasbro one does not look particularly worse decoed. It's just in a different color than this primarily. The Elita one, though, it is the Warrior class toy that's already been out for some time, but they have retooled it fairly extensively. They've done away with the action gimmick from the Warrior class toy. They have added articulation to the neck, which the original one didn't have. So they've basically taken the Warrior class toys here that I guess were close enough to being deluxe quality for them, and they've made some what modifications they needed to bring them up to par for their purposes. So this version of hashtag, this version of Elita 1 are going to be Takara exclusives. The deluxe Aftermath and deluxe Jawbreaker should come out in Hasbro versions, albeit probably with less paint and possibly otherwise altered decos as well. Like there's no telling whether Aftermath is going to be the same kind of like purple and black color scheme this has going on. This is actually, as far as I know, our first of the character Aftermath for season 2.
I tried to watch EarthSpark. I couldn't get into it. I have never bought an EarthSpark toy, but I will have that Aftermath. I will find a way.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, I am
probably hashtag too because that just looks good.
I am about as far from a completionist on EarthSpark as it is possible to be without just not buying any of the toys at all. And yes, I will have Aftermath in some form or another. And again, I'm gonna have to decide like which version of hashtag I actually want, because like I wish I could get the Hasbro purple version with the other changes that are on the Takara version. But just depending how things roll, I may have to just end up with show accurate dark blue or bluish purple.
It's a pretty bluish purple, yeah.
Yeah. But no, I mean, like, all of these new toys here look really nice to me, and it's regrettable that there's rumors that EarthSpark is going to end after season 2 because it looks like the toy line is really like actually starting to hit its stride now. But like Aaron Archer said to us that one day in 2013, wave 1, you're trying to figure out what you're doing. Wave 2, you're basically there. Wave 3, you're canceled.
Mm-hmm.
So Blade says Chris is buying it. So Aftermath canceled next week.
Yeah, I think I made a joke along that line in our Discord when these photos first went up.
I just want to say before we move on, I like all of the new characters here. The Alita one is the thing that it kind of appeals to me the least. And I think that's because there is nothing in my head to compare any of those other 3 figures to.
Right.
They're new characters. They look really good. That is a great combination. And it's not like I'm looking at a Bumblebee or Optimus Prime just going through the inventory of 40 years of those things going, well, this is better. This is both. These are new toys of neat characters, and I want them.
Yeah, this is exactly what we talk about all the time. Maybe not all the time, but very frequently, where like we love these nostalgia lines because they bring us new things instead of just remaking all the old. Like Robots in Disguise 2015, I will always champion that for all the new characters, all the new design philosophy that introduced. It breathed freshness into the line. We've gotten a little bit of that, revisited through Legacy, not in the best of ways always, unfortunately, but like I love what, sidelines, I guess, because everybody thinks of Generations as the main drag here. But like, no, Rob's absolutely right. We are all looking at this. We're excited about the brand new characters, the characters seeing toys in this format for the first time. It's great. I want more like this. Like, again, I'm sad if it's true that EarthSpark is going to end after its 2nd season, because if the toy line were to keep doing stuff like this, I'd be happy to see it go for several more years, just like I would have Robots in Disguise.
So Hasbro's like recipe for success should be new characters with good, neat toys.
Yeah.
Like not just new toys. The toys have to be good, and they have to look cool. And that's what they need.
I mean, that's what we bought in 1984.
Actually, speaking of Missing Link, thank you, Bumblebee and Cliffjumper. We have package mock-ups, styrofoam tray models, and location of diecast parts. Where, like, what's the source of this data?
Takara's Twitter.
Oh, they shared it. Okay, cool.
It's the same thing they did with Missing Link Convoy. After that was announced, they started tweeting out updates on like the ancillary details of it like this, and they're just following that same pattern. So I assume any future Missing Links will go along the same route.
So I know the first releases of these toys in Japan were boxed with styrofoam, which is cool. But part of me would love to have them on a card and blister pack. I would love that. I don't guess it's going to happen.
Doesn't seem like it, no.
Not in Japan, probably.
Yeah.
No.
And I doubt we're going to get special American version packaging for.
Well, second, like later releases, they had mini bots carded. I'm pretty sure,
Okay.
So they could do that potentially for a later release. What's the sticker on the back of the heads? The stickers that they had on the back of the toys.
Yeah, interestingly, the label sheets don't seem to that they show don't seem to show that. So what they so they may come pre-applied like they did originally, or they may
Or
be
tampagraphs.
yeah,
Yeah.
tampagraphs.
Yeah, tampagraph, because as far as I know, the only they have tampagraphed Autobot symbols on their chest, but they also come with sticker Autobot symbols if you want to cover it over. Like they have the expanded Autobot symbol is on the packaging, like it's stretched out sideways.
Yeah,
to make it wider. So they have stickers for that option.
Yeah. These are cool.
Oh, good. My light's flickered. I hope I'm still here.
You're still
Yeah,
here.
you are.
You are. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so that's cool. Any thoughts on the diecast parts or anything?
I couldn't care less.
Yeah,
I'm happy they're there because they trying to make something that small articulated, they will probably be necessary.
Yeah, I just want the toys.
Yeah, I'm like the mini bots though didn't have any diecast on them, did they originally?
So what I remember is like the back plate on
Yeah.
Bumblebee was metal.
Was it?
Yeah, the
I'm
little
pretty
square.
sure.
I haven't
Yeah.
touched mine in years.
That might have been a thing where the early releases had those metal and the later ones didn't. Because I'm pretty sure my G2 Bumblebee's back plate was not metal. So
Mine's boxed up, so I can't go and check. But I didn't remember the the 85 mini bots were plastic.
I'm looking at my Bumblebee, and I'm pretty sure this is a little piece of metal.
Okay,
oh, okay.
cool.
I always have my G2 Bumblebee close at hand.
There you should.
Yeah.
So Takara Tomy, Dramatic Capture Autobot set. So it's Prime, Jazz, Mainframe, and a little Sky Spy, right?
But well,
Yeah.
that was part of the
Mainframe.
Teletran tooling in the arc already.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hope
Yeah,
I
that
didn't
was always
lose.
there.
Hope I didn't lose that.
You probably never even took it off of there. Like it just lives in the Mainframe Teletran toy. I think
Okay.
you can leave it when you transform it even.
I probably did. I don't think I ever noticed.
But yeah, so this is our follow-up to the Decepticon bridge set. And technically we're getting less in this one, arguably.
No chair.
Because it was 3 figures about the size and a chair, and
I
There's
think
no
this one
chair.
costs less though.
I would hope so, since it's 2 Voyager-ish sized toys and a deluxe.
Yeah, I think I saw somebody say this is like somewhere in the $80 to $90 range.
That's kind of tempting just because I never got the arc. I don't know where I'd even put it. I would not mind having a Teletran 1.
It makes a pretty good mainframe too, and I
Yeah.
really like it in those colors.
Hey Mickey
Like
actually
actual colors.
Hey Mickey customized his original arc mainframe it basically identically to that. 'Cause it was a thing he and I talked about for some time after we found out that was mainframe, like what to do about the colors. And yeah, just painting the robot parts as mainframe works surprisingly well. And it's cool that a real toy of that is now going to be a thing. I don't know if I want to pay $80 to $90 for that, because I sure don't need Earthrise Optimus Prime again or Studio Series 86 Jazz again, albeit in what looks like pearlescent white this time instead of.
And it looks like it has all the apps that the 5-pack one had, or all the paint apps that every release up till now has combined.
So
It's a lot
Wheeljack
of
60 in our Discord, Wheeljack 64 said it's 13,200 yen. So yeah, it's
which
about
would
80,
probably be $80 to $90.
80
Yeah.
$85, something like that.
I also
Yeah.
like the idea Jared just threw at us, which is I wish Hasbro would redeco Autobot Arc in red and make it a super mode for mainframe.
So
I was.
go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry, Brian. I have no interest in the set at all. Don't care about it. But I was talking to Ben E on Twitter, and he raised a good point that if you've got mainframe in those colors, color the other 2 in Action Master colors, and then have an Action
Oh.
Master set.
Oh, nice.
And I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Oh,
because
yeah.
that would have been a really great one of the probably the few ways you can get an Action Master reference in this 40th anniversary line.
Yes.
Yeah, I like this set for mainframe.
I
don't need another Jazz.
or
I don't.
Optimus.
I like the way the Optimus looks though.
I was
Yeah,
going to say,
But
yeah.
we know that Studio Series 86 Optimus is going to be a thing eventually.
Yes.
So that
I have to have it for mainframe because mainframe looks great. But I just want to say, I know I'm buying too much from Japan. When I'm like, oh, that's $85. Then I just did a quick check, and it's $84.85. So I am buying way too much from Japan. Hey, I should have something on the next week's show, by the way.
I mean, like, I was right there with that price estimate, and I don't buy that much from Japan. I just, like, I can, if I know what the approximate exchange rate is, I can just kind of do that in my head by reflex. No, so, like, the Optimus in here it stands out because I think it's the first time we've gotten one of these where it's got the white pelvis and thighs that
Yeah.
are cartoon.
Yes, you're right. Yeah.
Yes.
That doesn't really matter because almost certainly the Studio Series 86 one is going to do the very same thing to also be animation accurate.
but he won't come with mainframe.
Yeah.
No, I'm
That's
just
true.
saying, like, it's another point against, like, nobody really needs this Optimus Prime because we're getting the Studio Series 86 one in whatever form that's going to take.
But we need
Yeah.
mainframe.
Yeah.
We do.
And
I
the
would
thing-
like to see pre-order. Oh yeah, and the inner legs are blue now instead of gray. So
Yeah.
yeah. So if you really like the Earthrise version of Prime, this is probably a really good choice. I
Right.
would really love to see some images of Studio Series 86 Prime before the pre-orders close on this, so
Yeah.
I could make up my mind.
Yeah, because I mean, there's people out there that never got Earthrise Prime, and his secondary market value is pretty up there. So this will be a great chance for someone to get that mold if it's not going to be superseded by whatever Commander.
There's 75 ways to get that. Why is the secondary market so high on it?
I mean, that's just the prices that I was trying to help someone find one, and they were all running about $80 to $90
There's
last time I looked.
Earthrise. There's the Kingdom
Hasbro's also
version.
reissuing Earthrise Optimus Prime sometime this year.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, yeah,
yeah. So, I mean, and it showed up at Ollie's for $20, and they had tens of thousands of them.
Maybe that's why
Earthrise-
the secondary market price is high, because like nobody bought them, and now everybody who wants one can't find one at Ollie's anymore.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Also, I like Rusty Cross being an agent of chaos in our chat. What if Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime's trailer transformed into a better mainframe?
Oh, that'd be great.
And confusing.
Yeah. GameStop Transformers promotion. Spend $25 on Hasbro Transformers. Get a free Skybound Transformers #1
With an exclusive version cover.
for people who buy all these variant covers. This is great for those people. Otherwise,
There are so many different covers for that issue 1 at this point, because it has gone back to print so many times.
yeah.
No, I mean, this is cool to get attention on the new comic book series, which is the only thing this is meant to do. I guess the trick will be if, while this promotion is running, there's actually $25 worth of Hasbro Transformers product at GameStop worth buying.
Well,
Because it comes in fits and bursts.
yeah,
for
and
sure.
and also if you're not a pro member and you don't get the 5% discount, anything deluxe and above would trigger it. If you're a pro member,
Don't use it.
their deluxes would be $23.75.
Don't use it.
So yeah, but there's that. But I mean, let's like my GameStop has a Trash Master, several animated Bumblebees, a Cybertron Starscream. So
Right. So,
but
like I
my-
said, it's up in the air whether there'll be anything Transformers worth buying at
Exactly.
GameStop while this promotion.
and I've gone to other GameStops and they don't even have Transformers, nothing at all.
Yeah, mine doesn't.
Yeah, I don't go to GameStop, so I have no idea what they got.
I
Yeah.
will point out that GameStops are the only place I have ever seen Twincast or Skyquake, I think, in person since they came out. But those were, unusual situations.
Yeah. In-hand photos of Studio Series 86 Bumblebee. I still love it and want it, need it, pet it,
Looks good.
love it. Name it George. I will be buying this.
The body type also, I just have to say, is really conducive to doing this as a gold bug if they want to.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Oh, looks like I guess the painted nylon. Is that what that is?
You can't paint nylon.
Yeah. Well. Okay. So whatever is that paint? Are the windows painted? The windows are painted.
I believe
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Does it clear plastic?
I don't think so.
So it
Yeah.
does. It doesn't line up with the rest of it. Now that I'm looking at it close.
Which is why they painted it black.
Yeah.
So I think it is molded in black plastic, and
That's
like you can see
painted-
the side supports have to be painted in yellow.
Yeah.
But because it's painted, it is not nylon.
That's annoying me.
Yeah, I want to say they addressed that in the stream when they were talking about this properly, and it's just a consequence of how the mold breakdown worked. It's actually why this Bumblebee has black windows instead of blue to match the other like redone Autobot cars. So they settled on this as a happy medium because this kind of calls back to what the G1 toy looked like with
Yeah.
its black plastic windows.
Yeah.
Which I think black opaque windows are perfectly acceptable and
Yeah.
honestly more realistic than having the opaque blue. But consistency would be nice, but I get this, and it's not the worst outcome. At least the roof itself is a separate piece, and you don't have the like dark tinted yellow paint over that whole surface. That would be really unfortunate.
Yeah, and we also have in-hand photos of Gamer Edition Decepticon Trooper. Does this change anyone's mind on the toy?
If anything, it makes me care about it even less than I did before.
I'll be honest, I like those. I mean, for a generic mass-produced trooper, I think it looks really good. I'm going to get one, and then I'll wait for them to go clearance like everybody
The
else.
robot mode's okay. Vehicle mode,
Yeah.
I hate.
But I just, for some reason, that color layout really makes that figure look like not just a barricade repaint, but it's actually your clone trooper kind of thing. So I'm actually kind of the opposite, Chris. I'm more into this, but I'm not troop building this figure at the current deluxe price point. I'll wait until sales or clearances to get a couple more.
I'm not
I
troop
thought
building
Clone
at all.
Troopers- I thought clone troopers were more generally like white with black trim.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
but they also share the thing that they can't hit anything either.
Yeah. Well, the thing to remember too with this is that next year at Target we are getting the Transformers Devastation generic Decepticon troopers, which are supposedly off the old old at this point, the Earthrise Battle Charger mold. So like, if someone's looking just for generic Decepticon cars, we're gonna have arguably a better option for that.
Cool. Blokees Transformers Galaxy version wave 4 images. I didn't know about waves 1 through 3.
I think we talked about Wave 1. I was also surprised to find they're on Wave 4. This is just interesting because this one kind of has something for everyone. Like, for the comics fans, there's a slightly chibified Tarn. For Dawn, there's Smokescreen. For people who, feel bad for characters who just have a poor lot in life, there's Ultra Magnus.
Until you said it was slightly chibified, it did not register to me that that's what's going on with that, but it totally
Yeah.
is. He's like pubescent Tarn.
I think they all are to an extent.
Yeah. That's just generally how the line works, best as I can tell.
Yeah,
Now, these don't transform, right?
No.
absolutely not.
Okay, I didn't think so. I will say I'm intrigued seeing the Constructicons. That's
Yeah, they're there too.
yeah.
So it's just the two in the foreground. The other ones are from prior waves.
Ah, okay.
I don't hate him. I don't hate it.
Do an
I just
Archie
want-
box set of those guys, and I might think about it.
Yeah, I just want the Scrapper. Scrapper's always my favorite one of the bunch, so I wouldn't mind having him.
I'm oddly disappointed that they did not go for the cartoon style head on Smokescreen. But, that's certainly just so that they could reuse the same head for all three Dotson brothers.
Yeah. I'm only like I've only been like tangentially aware of these things. I know
Mhm.
Rob Springer really loves them, so I think he did a post about them recently if anybody wants to know more.
I'll be honest, I added these to the end of the show notes just because I was afraid we were going to run through the little bit of stuff I was able to find too quickly. So I was trying to pad it a little bit.
Okay. Cool. Well, speaking of, let's jump to what we got this week. Dawn, you go first. What Transformers did you get this week?
Nothing.
Matt, what Transformers did you get this week?
Okay, so today I got in the mail the Studio Series 86 Blaster and Eject.
Nice.
The superior repaints with the all opaque plastic. They look really nice. They on Blaster, they changed out all the blacks for like a gunmetal gray. Painted the face white instead of silver, and like you would be surprised at the difference that makes. Like he looks really, really nice, and of course, Eject is no longer terrifying. I actually transformed the translucent one and almost snapped the leg off.
Lord.
Good to put it back in the other blaster's chest. Yeah, so glad to have a better version of that now. Hopefully, Eject will come, or Rewind will come with some other toy some way. And I also got the from the Takara 2-pack, I got Starscream's Ghost.
Cool.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, the Voyager class. Now, I haven't really read up on this any, but the nylon plastic on mine already has a tinge of green to it.
Oh boy.
Mm.
So there's not a lot there. It's pretty much just his forearms and the knee assemblies. I think that's all that's on the toy, but the forearms definitely look like they may be suffering a little bit of very premature yellowing. Other than that, the toy is absolutely gorgeous. Like, it is great.
Mm-hmm.
And I look forward to mailing the Waspinator to Diecast or to XV, so it's no longer in my house.
Please
Oh.
don't confuse me with diecast.
Yeah.
That's a fireable offense, sir.
Yeah.
I apologize
Thank you.
profusely.
Also, Wheeljack64 is saying that his Starscream also seems to be having the greening.
Sad. Anything else, Matt?
No, that is it for me this week.
Rob?
Yeah, I've got, well, of course I wasn't here last week, so I've got quite a bit. First off, thanks to Blade Raider, who gave me the Studio Series 86 Brawn as an early birthday present.
Oh, nice. I was actually looking around for one to see if I could find you one at like regular price.
I appreciate it. Yeah, Blade ran across those at I think Target, so sent one my way.
Cool.
I like it. It is a really good robot. It is a really good vehicle. I'm not as fond of getting in between those two modes as I wish I was, but it looks good. I also got, because that was actually retail on Amazon. I got Gears, and that is a good robot, a good truck, and fun to transform. So I am really happy with that. Also, just, I've gotten a couple of Brawns over the years, never did get a Gears because the only one before this was the super short pack last wave Brawn, or no, Swerve repaint.
Yeah.
So yeah, got that. Also, Hasbro Pulse had a sale last week on a bunch of things that I've been putting off because to be honest, on my expectations for them were not as high as Brawn and Gears and things like that. So I got, for a total of $70, Tow Line, the War Dawn 2-pack, and Transmetal 2 Megatron.
Nice.
Nice.
I haven't opened Tow Line and War Dawn pack because I've handled those molds before. I'm probably gonna get some thread seal tape to try and keep Dion together. Transmetal 2 Megatron is surprisingly good. I was not expecting to like a Transmetal 2 character with no vac metal as much as I wound up doing. It is super bulky. It is nice. It weighs a lot for a liter anymore. And it turns into a really big, impressive dragon. And just, yeah, that is a really nice toy. I think that one was like $25 on the sale. If you can find it for something like that, you will probably really like it. It is a nice figure. And that is the extent of the Transformers stuff I got this week.
I remember when I think it was Sam Smith who put on Instagram about the Transmetal 2 Megatron after it was announced, mentioning that the design file for it with all the surface detailing elements was like multiple gigabytes, like much larger than the typical toy for its size.
I can believe it.
Yeah, there's just so much to the surface detailing of that toy.
Yeah, it is. It seems to have sit a lot of places, which is a shame. But yeah, if you want a leader class transformer that is nice and imposing and turns into a very large, very cool big red dragon, get it.
Yeah, I think it's much better than I expected. I think it's really good.
Same.
Cool. Chris, what about you?
Nah.
I got one thing, but I don't want to talk about it because I didn't even open it. Like, I didn't even open the shipping box. So we'll talk about it next week. So,
well, then why even bring it up?
I think I mentioned that I'd ordered it during the show last week.
Oh, okay.
I think. Maybe not. I told you guys about it.
I don't remember. I don't remember, but I'll take your word for it.
It's Legacy Tigerhawk.
Ah,
I haven't.
Okay, I still don't remember you mentioning that, but
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll open it and talk about it next week. Okay. Ham sandwiches are exclusive to patrons at patreon.com/tfradio. Donald, what ham sandwiches did you get this week?
A couple of things came in. I don't collect the Origins version of He-Man of the Master
You
Universe.
should. It's the best He-Man line.
It's a good line.
It's yeah, whatever. But I did pick up the cartoon colored Skeletor. My local Walmart had one,
I've been tempted by that.
and because it looks really good in those colors, and I have something that's going to match up well in my pile of loot, and that's probably all the Origins I plan on buying. But it was the last one. I hadn't seen one of it yet, so I went and got it just to play it safe.
You can almost hear the Alan Oppenheimer coming off of that.
Mhm.
Yeah, yep.
It's the thing in your pile of loot is Zeta Zaku by any chance. That's the colors I use in Gundam Battle Operation 2 for it.
I don't know if I mentioned this last week, but I got a really good deal from a seller on eBay for Super 7 Duke. Got it for $25 with free shipping.
That's what a Super 7 should cost.
Yep.
Yeah.
So got that. Picked up at GameStop because I had my $5 off Pro Reward coupon that was expiring for last month. I got Iron Man Model Mark 9, which is close enough to the classic version, and it has the big stomping boots that Chris likes. So
Yes.
yeah,
Oh,
so
nice.
That's actually my favorite Iron Man armor too.
So-
The one with
Yeah,
the big stompy boots.
Yeah,
yeah.
it probably is for me too. Like it's a toss up between that and the modular armor because like the 90s cartoons were my introduction to Iron Man, but like that is such a good look.
Well, the classic red and gold has always been my favorite.
That's because you're so old, Don.
Yes, but that's a good variation on a theme that I like.
Yeah.
That I can tell apart, unlike the movie armors, which is like after 5 they all blend.
Well, and like Rob, help me out here. Didn't they used to call the Stompy Boots one the Neo-Classic armor? Like, wasn't that what they
Yeah,
Yeah,
how
both
the universe called it?
both the Stompy boots and the regular boots version of that armor, the Neo Classic armor generally.
Yeah.
and I got another deal on another Super 7 figure from I had on my watch list, and I got it for about $40 with shipping. I got Mumra,
The Ever Living?
the Mumra, the Ever Living. This is the one that comes with Mamut. Didn't really care about the Mamut, but this one does have the cape, which I didn't know because a lot of the stock images don't show the cape. They just show all the other pieces for some reason. So this one has the cape, the sword, I think it's the sword of Plundar is in there. So yeah, I finally got me a really, because I've got the classics Mumra that they released when the 2012 series was owned, but
So in
it's
2012.
yeah, but it's kind of small. It's kind of Mimra instead of Mumra. Very, very mim. But that's all I got this week.
Matt,
Nothing off topic.
Rob,
What did you get from Suragaya this week?
Well, I'll get to that. The first off, I just want to thank Don because he did find me the Altered Beast Werewolf and Streets of Rage Axel figures from Jack Specific at Walmart.
Sorry it took so long, Rob. Just had a lot going on.
I feel you, Don. No worries at all. I appreciate you picking them up for me. The sculpt on that Altered Beast figure in particular is unreasonably good for a Sega Genesis game that is, 30 pushing 35 years old, or is slightly over 35, I think, that has never had any kind of appreciable sequel. Just that's a really nice werewolf figure. And yeah, again, Jax is just one of those companies. I do not understand how they do what they do for less than Hasbro does.
And at that price, and at that price point too. That was a $10 plus figure, and that was, it when I saw that, it's like the first thing that popped in my head: "Rise from your grave." That is images you can hear.
Yeah. Also, let's see. Also this week I got from a US distributor, I got the high grade gun cannon from Kukur's Doan's Island, which is just slightly different than standard model. Has a few different slightly different body design. Looks good. It was on sale for like 20 some bucks, and that's pretty good. Okay, now what I got from Surugaya. I got also from Cuckoo's Stones Island. I got the G-Frame Universal Century 0079 Memorial Sharzaku, which comes with the high mobility legs as option parts that which shows up in basically a dream sequence in the movie, which is going to complicate what continuity, if any, exactly that movie falls into for anybody who thinks about it too seriously.
As if Slugger being there already didn't.
Yeah, well, that fits into the Gundam the Origin continuity, but Char never used a high mobility Zaku in Gundam the Origin, so
Or any other, I don't think.
No, this is the first time there's ever
Yeah.
been a Char's high mobility Zaku. So yeah, grab that. Also got Shoto Double Cross Kamen Rider Gaim Kachidoki arms that just showed up today.
Ooh, best suit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that should have been the final suit instead of fruit baskets.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah. I hope they do that one too, though. I'd like to have them both. I still need the accessory set to get his weapons, but I'm just waiting for that to show up on Surugaya. Turns out if I had waited, I could have gotten like that whole wave for like $27, which is I didn't pay that much for Kachidoki, but would have been smarter to do it that way.
Whoops.
Yeah, happens. Also got Chodo Alpha Ultraman Belial, just because I wound up watching that movie on Tokushoutsu one day, and that's actually a pretty nice design.
If you find yourself with some time to burn, go find Ultraman G on Shout's on-demand streaming. That's a very good show that is semi-related to the Belial continuity.
Okay, yeah. I saw G'd in the movie as well quite a bit, so I will have to catch that at some point. The last thing I got on Surugaya is okay. This is just weird. I don't know why this is the way it is. At some point in the last 5 years, Bandai changed their logo from a red square that says Bandai to a blue square that says Bandai. I got Figurized Standard Perfect Cell for $25 because he had the blue square logo. Red square logo Perfect Cell is $50.
So is this a thing where the majority of Figurized Dragon Ball Z kits came out with the red logo, and perhaps people are wanting to have as much of a matching set as possible?
That would make sense, yeah, because all the older, I think that was pretty late into the Figurized DBZ series.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the other kits do have red logos, but yeah, whenever I can find, whatever version I can get cheaper is the version I get because I do not care.
Right.
But yeah, so that is a nice.
You will actually theoretically build that one day.
Yes, it is. It is sitting on the work table now on top of a stack of Mazingers. So I am, I'm just for some reason after like 15 years, I finally started playing and enjoying Dark Souls. So I'm kind of stuck in that. But after I'm freed myself from that, I'm going to put Perfect Cell together next, I think. But that is pretty much everything I've gotten in the last couple of weeks, give or take a couple art books.
Cool. Anything else?
No, I think that's it. That's it for now.
Very cool. Chris?
No.
Very cool. Okay. Before I thank our patrons at patreon.com/tfradio, I want to note that I just made my first actual purchase from Surugaya, so you can take a drink.
What'd you get?
You'll find out hopefully next week.
How to keep a podcaster in suspense.
Yes.
Tell you next episode.
Yes. Patreon.com/tfradio is where you should go if you want to sign up to be a patron of the show. For Radio Free Cybertron, you get an ad-free version of the show each week, a day early from the public feed, at a higher bit rate, with a weekly Patreon exclusive pre-show podcast. If we have edits of any note, we will post an unedited version on Patreon.
Unfortunately, it was really boring this week, so we don't have that for this episode.
True. We don't get them that often. We don't. It has to be pretty substantial for me to do that. We're professionals. This is mostly live tape.
Yeah, it's amazing, actually.
Yeah, I know. There Goes My Money. You get that a week early. Patrons at the touch tier get to be on There Goes My Money, which is twice a month. Touch patrons also get to be mentioned on the show each week and listed at tfradio.net/credits. I want to thank Kevin Dorsey, Jacob Owen Lucia, Sean Bratton, Emmett Stresovich, Hector Bones, J. Klein Rye, Joey Russell, Here's Why It's Cool, Rabbits, Rick Mahurin, Ryan Bona, Sean Hamilton, Sean Williamson, Spider Bob, Trickster, and Nathan's Fast Talk Food Reviews. Thank you all so much. We love you. And if you want to be listed at tfradio.net/credits and mentioned on the show each week, go to patreon.com/tfradio and sign up at the Touch tier. You can find all of our crap at tfradio.net. You can find all of my crap at briankilby.com. And I posted a couple episodes of the Happy Daily over the last week or so. And I was really pleased with the last episode because it was an actual radio broadcast. Like I was a DJ again. And the music that I played, gold. You should check it out. You can find John DeLuna, who is not here, at that John D everywhere. Diecast, you can find him at Diecast2 on Twitter and Blue Sky. He's also on RFC Reviews on YouTube and at Diecast
reviews by Diecast
reviews
on
by
Facebook.
Diecast on Facebook. Rob Springer, not here, Robo Rob Springer on Twitter, zonebase.org, and also he is at zonebase.bsky.social on Blue Sky. Don, how do people get a hold of you?
I can be reached on Twitter at HMRC, the number 4 EVR. I can be reached on Blue Sky, again, if I remember it exists, at HMRC, the number 4 EVR.bluesky.social. I also have an Amazon wish list, and my birthday is coming up on the 21st. If anyone would like to get me something, I'll be 54. I'll be the older man of the group. tfradio.net.
Flash down list.
Thank you. Sorry, very tired. So yeah, that's it.
Cool. Matt.
I don't really use the social medias anymore, but if you must, it's melvar.bsky.social. That's with 3 L's and 2 R's.
Very cool. Rob?
You caught him off guard. He's still muted and needs time to unmute.
That's the one. Okay. I'm on Blue Sky at robflails.bsky.social. That is connected sort of kind of to Flail Throughs, my YouTube channel, which mostly covers Gundam Battle Operation 2. I'll be covering Gundam Breaker 4 when that comes out in August. GBO2 is going to be hitting its 6th anniversary in the next month or so. Ridiculous to think that it's been going that long, but it has, with a new robot a week. And if you want to see what it is, check my channel out on Thursday mornings. If you like what I'm doing over there, patreon.com/flailthroughs. You can make specific requests of whatever Gundam games I am playing at the time, and just otherwise support me if you want to. And I also have an Amazon wish list, and my birthday is also coming up 2 days after Don's, June 23rd, and he will be 54, I will be 45. That is tfradio.net/playlist.
Very cool. Chris?
Well, I don't have a birthday coming up, but I do have an Amazon wish list. Well, I do have a birthday coming up. It's just like 8 months from now. But my Amazon wish list is at tfradio.net/chrislist if anybody wants to just randomly throw something at me. Otherwise, though, I'm on social media as ChrisRTXV on Blue Sky. You can find the photography and writing I've done on the internet at playwithphotography.com. Most of all, though, just come find me in our Discord, tfradio.net/discord. We've got great crowd of regulars. The channel's pretty well always active. Like it's a lot of fun to just sit around and chat about Transformers and other random topics. We've got good community going here. I'm really proud to be part of this, and I'd really like everybody to come and join and help us grow.
You're here. Cool. Okay. Well, thank you all so much. We will see you next week. Have a good one.
Good night, everybody.
You have a birthday as well, Brian, somewhere
Recording
around this time
stopped.
of year.
We'll throw that in earlier in next week's episode, so we can't remove it so easily.
I don't like mentioning my birthday on the show because it's personal identifiable information. And I've been doxxed once, at least, that I know of, so...
I mean, do you think adding your birthday makes you any more personally identifiable than your full name and the state and town you live in? Which have all come up on the show.
I'm not answering that. Okay. Hey, people watching live, I've been up for 17 hours, 18 hours. At this point, I'm going to go to bed, so we will see you next week. Goodbye.
That is too many hours.
Yeah.
Bye, Twitch. And YouTube, I'm going to cut you off in a second because it just takes longer. Goodbye, YouTube. Bye, YouTube. Okay.